Hello, anybody who has a 80s or 70s Japanese motorcycle has probably experienced some broken tabs on the plastic parts that go on the side of the bike. I have a Honda 1982 CB900C that has a broken tab, or had a broken tab, until I got this parts kit from jwpartsplus.com. I don't know who these guys are, I don't get endorsed from them, I'm not getting any money, but they make a repair kit that lets you fix tabs like that into repaired tabs like this. Now it starts off like that, with a tab that is just a universal length, not shaved down, not trimmed, nothing wrong with it. And you've got to be able to take this thing, mold it into something like that. So I can cut the side of it so it fits against the side of the panel, and it's also a little bit shorter. Yeah, I did all that. I didn't really cut it. I put it in a vise like that, and took a stone like those, and shaved it, so I wound up with a pile of debris like that. And then eventually got the peg, which started out like this, into that. You follow me? Okay, good. And you can also see there's some epoxy there, is what is held in place, and it's pretty close to the original, like that. And some things I noticed when I was repairing this particular side panel. First of all, when it comes out of the box and you get it from eBay, it's going to have that unmolested appearance to it, that sharp shoulder on the side of it. And I rounded it off to be closer to the original shoulder. See how that's more of a rounded, softer shape? Just like this right here, nice rounded, softer shape, because the bikes are old and eventually you're going to want to replace the rubber grommets in the side of the frame. When you do that, whether they're new grommets, definitely when they're new grommets, and even if they're older grommets, that hard shoulder like that is going to be harder to pull in and out, and that's going to put more strain on the joint on the bottom, I would think. So I just made that shape a little closer to the original just to make removing it a little bit easier. So that was number one. Number two, the repair manual suggests that you should use JB Weld. Once you've ground that down to the right size, you've cleaned up the surface with the grindstone, you're ready to put it in place. Okay, you get the JB Weld out, you put a dab of JB Weld down there after you've mixed it up, or if you're using pre-mixed JB Weld, you can use that too. You put it in place, and they want you to take the whole panel as it is and put this grommet and the original other side that's not damaged, put the whole panel on the side of the bike and strap it in place with a piece of tape or something and let it cure overnight. Okay, assuming you've got your peg in the right spot, which you may or may not, you can't really see what's going on in the inside there unless you've got the airbox out and the frame is bare. It's a little difficult to manipulate like that, but assuming you got it right, it cures overnight and all is well. Well, that didn't work for me. I put it in place, I let it cure overnight, it came out, and I went to pull it off the bike, and the peg separated from the joint. The JB Weld just didn't hold. I don't know if JB Weld is really made to bond old plastic like this and new plastic like that, but my experience was that the JB Weld steel stick, it's probably meant for metal repairs, and I know JB Weld has another type of bonding agent that's made for plastic. Maybe that's better, but I did not have that handy, so I went with the epoxy from Loctite, 5-minute. I've used this to repair all kinds of different plastics. It's usually pretty good. So I squirted some out on a pad and mixed it up with a popsicle stick, and you can see I put it down there. It's a much more liquidy type of epoxy, and that's the other thing I was going to mention is because they suggest JB Weld, which firms up like modeling clay. You can put the peg in place and then try to put it on the bike. You really can't do that with this epoxy. You have to hold this peg in place for a few minutes to make sure that it really sticks in the right spot. It's just not, it's easier to do the repair off the bike. Once you know more or less where it's supposed to go, just do it that way. I use this epoxy to great effect. I didn't have to strap it to the bike, and I had it pretty much right where it should be. Now, how did I get this peg in the right spot? Shaving it down is a matter of trial and error. Don't shave off too much off that peg, because once it's gone, well, I guess you bought 2 of them, so assuming you only need 1, you get a mulligan. You can try to shave down the second one. But regardless, don't shave down too much at once. Try to get the right shape on the bottom, not only the bottom, the overall length, but also the side. If I can get this in focus here, you can see what I'm talking about. It's a curved joint that it goes against. Sorry about the bad focus. But that, and also I would look across like this, and I would see the squarish peg there, round top. Try to mark that square shoulder against the square shoulder in the distance, and that one in the distance shouldn't be tilted left or right. It should be more or less straight up and down. That's one indicator. Another one here, you can see the molding on this original panel has sort of a U-shaped, if I can focus, there you go. It's got a, sort of a U-shaped pattern to it right there. That was, I don't know how that happened at Honda in 1982, but it did, and that is an indicator for where this peg should go. That peg is about dead center of that U against the panel right there. So that was a good way for me to really gauge it's in the right spot. And I went back and checked. It's the same on this side too. You got the original peg right there with the U-shaped indicator on the molding, and that's exactly where it is. So that was another useful way to really gauge while the panel was off the bike. I just put it straight up and down against the side, dead center of that U-shaped thing, and it cured in the right spot. Lo and behold, it came out just fine. And this time, because I trimmed that shoulder on that got that sort of mushroom shape, got rid of part of the harsh angle, and then used a little 3-in-1 oil on the grommet, and both of them went in and out. So you get that one there, you get this one here, and that. So there's 3 tabs that actually come into contact with the rubber. Put 3-in-1 oil on all of them, or some other kind of oil, and it'll come on and off easily. Not too easily, but it wound up working just fine. So now this panel has been saved. It's ready to go. It's as good, I think, as the original. And for $15, I just saved myself having to go out and bargain with somebody who might have one that's, not too far off from being broken itself, for a lot more money. So if you think you're good with your hands and you want to get a panel for cheap, hell, get one with 2 broken pins and then buy this kit and save yourself a lot of money. It actually works really well. So now I've got this other one here for a CB750 that I actually bought by mistake. I don't have a CB750, but this one here is a panel which I thought was for a CB900, and it's not. And now this it looks great on the outside. It's in great shape, and it's got one of the original pins in place. We're gonna have that right there, and it's got a missing one right there. So with this kit, I can fix that, or someone can. But it's this is definitely a excellent development. There's another kit out there called Plastics, I think. Plastics. A lot of the guys in the forum have been talking about it. I didn't think that was as good a kit as this. It didn't look like it would make as solid a peg as this, but I don't know. I haven't tried that. I do know it's more expensive. So $15 for 2 of these. I think it's like $30 for the Plastics kit. You might as well give this a try and see if it works for you. I hope this has been a help. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.